Already took off the radiator. Took off a lot of things already. This is basically the AC compressor was put to the side right here. All the bolts were put where they're supposed to go on the AC compressor. As you can see, everything has to be done very carefully. The power steering pump was just put to the side. These are the two bolts for the power steering pump. They're 15s. I'm using metric. Here we have another one back here. It's just a nut. So all I had to do is remove those three. I didn't have to remove this bracket. I think this bracket will serve me well, so I could pull the engine out of there. Put a chain right here, or a belt. Here we go with the hoses. Obviously these hoses go to where we know where they go already. There's no way we can get that wrong, but we do have connections that I'm slowly marking, and marking them like this. I use whiteout. It's the cheapest way. Just mark it, let it dry up. It stays on very well. I have these little hoses here. I'm gonna document this. As you can see where I marked where these hoses connect to here. This little hose is gonna connect down there. See? Oh, as you can see, I'm marking every single thing. See 3 dots on there, you see 3 dots on there, every little mark. It's like making hieroglyphics basically, so you can know how it goes back together. So that goes there. Okay, that's out of the way. Putting it down here. We have a lot of wiring here. If I can bring them back around. That'll be this will go up here. I'll mark this part. I know I'm probably not going to use this, but it's good to know where it all goes. We have this part right here also being marked. Everything that connects to it. Carburetor, this hose here. Also, we have an AC compressor wire. It's I threw it over here somewhere. Okay, here it is. So the AC compressor wire has another wire coming out of it. This one here, it connects here. I believe this is a it's like a throttle body actuator or something like that. It's what do they call it? Idle control valve, something like that. I'm very familiar with these guys. This is the AC compressor. I put the F on it because this is how it goes to the front. You can see F for front of the compressor, because if you put it, you can also put it backwards like this, and that'll be wrong. So it goes this way. Therefore, I marked that part. You can see here where it disconnects also. You can disconnect it from here, but I'm not going to do that unless I find out where the 4.3 goes. And we have this wiring here. This is the ignition coil. I put a P on it for passenger side. See how it goes. Ignition coil for passenger side. We have a lot of markings like hieroglyphics again on this system here. Everything has to be done this way. Everything has to be done where you know where everything goes, just in case you got to come back to it. Right there. And we will continue this. I will show a little bit more around this carburetor. But this engine, a blue head gasket, I don't know which side it is. All I know is the head gasket is blown and the engine is very hard to turn now. The starter struggles a lot to crank over. It is a stick shift, and we're gonna see if we can put a 4.3 in here and see what the problems are gonna be. continue the mission. I'll come back right now. Let me continue taking it apart. I can go in the back and show what I took off already and get a little idea. I'll come back right now. I'm gonna go to the back. Okay, so here we have all the parts that have been taken off as well. We have a bracket that connects. This is part of where the alternator goes, and also the smog pump. This is the smog pump. This part sits at a certain angle. I'm pretty sure it goes like this. Yeah, let me go to the front and show you where this part goes. And there's the smog pump there. Obviously, I'll leave the bolts on there. Leave everything on there, how it goes. We got the alternator here. That's very simple stuff to remove. The smog pump pulley. We got the fan clutch also. Let's see what else we got. I'm gonna go to the front. I'm gonna show you where these two pieces go. I'm gonna take them with me. These here. So this one here is gonna go on the bottom. As you can see, this pulley went down here in this direction, and they were 19mm bolts. I'm pretty sure they were. I'm not really sure. Yeah, probably. Yeah, they're pretty fat. They look like 19s. They went right here. This bracket was holding the smog pump. Back to the. Grab the other parts real quick. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can. That's the bottom part. This is going to be the top piece right here. This piece is going to go right about here. You can see okay, no, this one's going to go this way. It's going to go right here. See those two bolts? That one. Let's see if I point them out. This one here and that one down there are going to go with those two. And this is going to go at a certain angle. This angle right here. You can see it. And the bottom part right here is what's going to be holding that smog pump. The top of the smog pump. You can see that it's a threaded hole right there. So that's what's going to hold that smog pump in place. And also this is going to hold the alternator up here on the top. Service function. Also for the AC compressor right there in that top. And I'm going to return with this. I'm going to put this all away. I'm going to continue this tear down. Okay, so here we have a connection with the various hoses going to it. We have a little small hose going to the EGR over here. It's curled around and it goes on the EGR valve. As you can see, I marked that. It's got kind of like a face on it. That's gonna go right there. We have another one here that goes to the carburetor. This has 4 lines on it. This goes directly to this whole unit. We have this piece here which we saw earlier. These over here have been also marked. They go on this area. We have another one here that was marked that goes in this area. This one, these hoses go to the back of the carburetor in this little area where the intake is at. They go to the back of the carburetor. I will show you when I remove this carburetor. I have one bolt, one 10mm nut that was on the valve cover up here that holds this together. I'm gonna pull it out, show a little demonstration. And we have where the valve cover is at, this piece right here. And everything's been marked. This whole assembly will come out together. We'll put it away and continue the mission. Yeah. Yeah, and we have the heater. It's a heating pad that goes under the carburetor. This is part of that heating pad. As you can see, it goes under there. There's a heating pad under that will show you when I remove it. Here we are. This wire here has been damaged. You can see which way it goes. There's no way you can put this one on the wrong way. This one goes right here. I believe that's the choke. Electronic choke. Alright, here we go. We'll continue the mission on this thing. So for right here, we're using little small skinny tools. See my 3/8 ratchet with a little reducer to a 1/4 extension. We have the nuts back here in the back. We have nuts right here in the back of this. We got this nut back here. I don't know if we can really document this very well. It's kind of hard to see. So we have this little area here. And we have 1/2, 1/4 inch, 1/2. We got the little tool here. We're removing this back nut because we do not want to interrupt this hose or remove it, because I want everything together. So I put it in between the hose and the carburetor. I don't know if we can get a very good view down there, but you can see where the screw, the nut is at. Now we can keep turning. Yeah, there, we'll keep turning. That's how I remove the other one. Alright, I got it loose. Now I'm going to grab my magnet. Let's stick it in there. I'm going to take what's mine. Got my socket out. And we have a nut that's still back there. It needs to come out. I do not want to drop it anywhere. I do not want to lose it. So I'll send my magnet in there to grab it. It's very important that you have all this, because these parts are kind of hard to find. Alright, now we got the front one. For this one, I had to put the socket on there first, and then I stuck the extension to the top, but I had to move this up a little bit so I could have a little more room to play with. That's off. Magnet helped me a lot. This one here in the front, I had this temperature sensor. I had to remove it. That's a 19 socket, deep socket. I didn't break anything. And this one here, I used my little handy wrench, crescent wrench, and I just got it off like that in order not to damage any of this right here. So now all these two guys are off. I have room to stick my wrench in here. And now the carburetor's coming loose. As soon as I loosen this last one, you can see the carburetor moving around. See it? So I'm going to remove it completely. See how much I could do with my finger. Alright, here we go. So we have this piece coming out. There you go. Putting all my bolts up here for now. I'm going to remove this carburetor, and we're going to see how many hoses I connected to. We're going to go all the way around it. I want to see exactly how it goes. Okay, so I got it loose, but it looks like the fuel line is still hooked up to it. Fuel line goes all the way down here to the fuel pump. I don't want to disconnect it from there. I want to disconnect it from up here. So I grab me a 1/2 inch. What is this? A special wrench. They call these flare wrench. It's a flare wrench, a 1/2 inch flare wrench. I have just a set of 3. I do very well with them. I did our last set. Okay, so everything has been disconnected, but I want to show you something. There we have this smog pump. There's a line that goes on there. It's this piece right here. This one goes to the back of the carburetor. So you can see it right here. It goes right here in the top. Right in the top, right in the middle on the top of the carburetor. Obviously there's more hoses connected to it. But these go where the filter's at, the round part up here. You can tell where it's going to go if you have a similar setup. There's also one little hose coming out right here, and we have another one going down there, but I want to take everything out together. All this stuff wants to come out together, everything. I want the carburetor with all the hoses connected to it. We have this other hose that comes out of there, coming over here. Obviously you see a yellow mark, you see the hieroglyphic on there. It's all messed up already, but still got the yellow dot on there. This guy here originally went right here. That's also in the back right here of the carburetor. One more thing. You can see how that one is plugged up down there, and we have this piece, this pipe right here in the back. I'm going to disconnect it right now. This one goes to the back. You see where the line goes. Okay, it's coming out this way. It comes all the way over here. It runs down this way. Runs down here. Right here. It looks like a map sensor. Yep, map sensor. Manifold absolute pressure map, MAP or MAF, manifold mass airflow. Not 100% sure yet until I look it up in the book, but that's what I just disconnected right here in the bottom, back here. And also I'm going to check for these, make sure they're not loose. So yeah, that's it. That's that part. Now we see the heating pad was disconnected. The heating pad stayed in there. It doesn't want to come out yet. You can see the heating pad. The heating pad is still in there, see? So as soon as I disconnect this fuel line right here, I should be able to remove it. So with parts like the carburetor, you want to cover them up and also protect it from the bottom. I'm going to show you what's on the side. This is the driver's side where the fuel line was at. A little bit of gas is leaking out. This is the front of the vehicle. That's the way the setup is for the 1984. We got the passenger side of the carburetor. A bunch of things going on here. And finally we got the rear part next to the firewall. And let's see, these hoses are getting caught up right here. Okay, so that's all there is to it right here in the back. Only one I wasn't able to show too much was this one with the 4 lines on it. If you rewind the video, you'll see where that one goes to. That one goes right here in the back. So I'm gonna leave this here. Put it up here for now. And a little bit of room over here. Move all this out the way. And we're gonna just stick it right here. Stick this guy right here. I'm gonna cover it up with this rag. Try to keep it free from all dust. You don't want no dust going in it. Okay, so we have this heating pad right here. Remember the heating pad I was talking about? So it's been disconnected here. And now we can remove it and look at it. Might want to replace this. This has a lot to do with when you do a cold start. Sometimes the check engine light turns on for this, sometimes it doesn't, but I would replace it if I'm doing this engine. Putting this engine back in, you might want to replace this piece because it's a heating pad. It's going to determine whether your car shuts off when you first start it in the morning and then you have to start it again and give it gas. Usually this is the problem. It's called a heating pad. It goes under the carburetor. Back to this area right here. We have the map sensor, or the MAF, whichever one they call it, and that's the one that goes down here. That's on the driver's side firewall, right under there. It runs all through here, comes back up, runs right here, goes to the back of the carb. So we can put this guy on the side. You know what? I'm gonna write on here. I'm gonna write MAF on it. MAF or MAP. I'm gonna put MAP, map sensor. Manifold absolute pressure. Not mass airflow, whichever one. Alright, I think I'm gonna end this video for now. We have something that broke right here. It goes on the intake right next to the EGR valve. Right here, it comes up this way. It broke. I couldn't get it off. It just broke. I guess it's old already. And then the mark came off a little. I put an L on it. Kind of like an L. It looks like an L. So yeah, this one goes to this ball right here. They call it a catch can. Right here in this little ball right here, so it travels all the way up there, and it comes back around, and it goes into the manifold. There's another one that goes here, but I already disconnected it. That one goes into one of the other hoses that I have marked, and I put 3 dots in that hose. I'm not really sure. I think it's on the carburetor. The hose is on the carburetor. I had showed it earlier. Not really, don't remember much. So many hoses to remember. Well, we have more things back here that I still gotta go through. You see this one back here. This one is one of the lines that come out this way. See it back there? Behind the manifold? Behind the distributor, behind the manifold down there. It's that one right there. This one's gonna go, it's gonna have a metal hose that comes up to the top right here. It's gonna come out this way. It's gonna go on the brake booster. Right there. The brake booster on the master cylinder area. I would just disconnect it from here and then worry about that later. But as far as I see, we have one more connection here on the side. Also marked it. So don't forget, we got some zip ties where it's tied up to. Now we're gonna disconnect all these wiring going back that way. A lot of zip ties I gotta cut off still. Then we're gonna continue on it. I'm gonna keep going on it in the next video. Okay, so we got inside this greasy area. We got a very greasy area right here. So, in order to remove the starter, you gotta get this bar out the way. A 15mm nut, screw, 15mm bolt, 15 on this side too. I just took it off. But this one I grabbed it and I pulled on it. I pulled down as much as I could down this way. And then I took both of the bolts off the starter right here. They're just straight up and down. Oh, those are 15s. I'm using metric. And we got the wiring here. I'm going to show you what these are for. This one here goes on a small The smallest side is a 8mm. And these two right here, see this? This one goes on a big side, on the big positive side. I'm gonna post a picture, like a little freeze frame of a picture, or a little small video of a picture right now of what the wiring looks like before I took the starter down. So this starter had like maybe 4 little small plates going from here to here. It was like spacers. They're really thin sheets of metal. I guess it's necessary for it not to hit in here somewhere. But that's what we're looking at inside. I guess it was hitting somehow or scraping against it. I don't know how, but you can see right there it was doing some kind of damage to it. So the little, like a little shim kit that was right there in between there. That's how you get it out, is you gotta move this bar down and push on it all the way this way, get it out the way, push the starter back that way, get it to go up a little, bring the front part down like this, and then just pull it out completely out of there. And now we're gonna continue on to these transmission bolts. I don't know if you can see them very well. I'm gonna get my flashlight. We're looking at some bolts that go up here. That one there is very greasy. I'm gonna be the grease master right now, and I'm gonna take this stuff apart. I got room from the top too, but I'm gonna do these down here, these two. There's one on top and one right here. That one and that one. I can zoom in a little better on my flashlight. This one here and that one up there. So I'm gonna start with this side and I'm gonna jump on the other side. So this exhaust, I believe I could take it out from the side of the engine. Let me get out real quick. Pretty sure we can get in there. Right there, we can see them very well, very visible. So, but they don't look like they're supposed to go. They look like different sizes. I don't know. Oh, don't look very well. Oh, this is the positive for the battery for the starter. That one goes in there too, but I already disconnected it. So the starter I'll show you in a little bit. I'll show you a little video of it. Oh, we got the exhaust. I believe one of them is going to be 19 and the other one's going to be 15. We'll see right now.